All right, what's up, everybody? ODC here. I'm just going to wait for people to start trickling in. Then we'll get the review started. All right. Okay. So today we're going to discuss, and I know I haven't done a Marvel Legends video, and what was it? I think within the last 3 days I've done two, which I haven't done. I think prior to that I haven't done one in quite a while. But today I figured, I got the whole wave finally in the mail, and it took forever for me. I felt like forever for me to get this in the mail. I think, like I said in the War Machine live stream, I got a package from China in 3 days, as opposed to waiting, over 6 days for this just to even be processed and then shipped. So, Gaz, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Hello. But I'm going to run down each one of these characters, and then I'll run down who I think is the best top choices for you to pick up, and we'll run through the Build-A-Figure and everything. So that'll be pretty cool. Do comparisons with every single one. All that jazz. So, but I think for now, I'll just give people, I don't know, maybe about 2 more minutes to kind of pop in, and then I'll start it. But Jason, how's it going, bud? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I was gonna do this stream earlier, but I figured, I'll give people Sunday. I know there's some people that are football fans, so I know football's going on right now. So it's a. I mean, I don't want to give away anything, but it's an okay set. It's definitely. I don't think it's one of the better sets. I think this guy makes it a very good set. Maybe somebody else, but we'll get to that. But all right, well, we'll just get started. So I'm going to start with this. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with my least favorites and go to my favorites. So that's how this will work. I think it makes the most sense anyway. So we'll get Black Tom out of there. We'll get Maverick out of there. Let's see if I can get this stupid gnat out of my face. That would be great. We'll get Sunspot out of there. We will get Warpath out of there, and she's going to fall over. And we'll get the Build-A-Figure out of there. And we'll get her out of there. Also, keep in mind, I absolutely know nothing about this character. By the way, she just happened to come with the wave, so I don't know what this is about either. So I'm not up to date with. I know the basis of, or some of the basics of her character. I don't know too much about her. I know that she's a former love interest of Deadpool. That's about all I know. And then, so we're going to start least favorite to favorite of the wave. And we're just going to roll through each one, kind of discussing each one. So, least favorite. Is it just me, or are they still missing Richter? Absolutely, they are still missing Richter to finish off the X-Force characters. We're also missing Wolfsbane, and we're missing Feral. We need Wolfsbane for X Factor and Feral for X Force. So get on. Hopefully, we get those in the future as well. So we'll see what happens. So here's my least favorite of the bunch. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it points for having a unique sculpt to it, and I mean, it is basically on the Bucky Cap body mold, but and it does have some additions. Like I think this torso, I think it's new. I could see them maybe using this torso piece for a Corsair down the line, maybe. But this is an all new sculpt here. And then we've got the pirate kind of continuation with the jacket and the belt. Now, I know that this is from the Deadpool comic. But I don't know anything about this story. So, like I said, the only reason I got this figure was because it came with the BAF piece to finish off Strong Guy. I'm probably going to end up selling this off, to be honest with you. But I will say this. I will give credit where credit's due. The sculpt on it is pretty unique looking. I like the sculpt of the pirate hat. The symbol on the pirate hat is nice and crisp and clean. Looks good. The face sculpt for the Deadpool figure looks good. Kind of wish that maybe this was Feral, or maybe this is Wolfsbane or Richter. I think this getting two Deadpool figures, and I don't even think this is a Deadpool wave. Is it? I don't know. It's like mixed up with X-Force and Deadpool figures, and I don't know what's going on. There's like no theme to this wave besides it's just X-Men characters. Action figure expert, what's going on, bud? How you doing? Welcome. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with this. I've seen the cover artwork for the Pirate Deadpool, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. So I'm sure another collector somewhere else will enjoy this more than I will. But he does come with a bunch of stuff, and like I said, the overall sculpt and detail and design of the figure is pretty good looking. I gotta be honest with you. Even though it doesn't float my boat, it does look pretty good. The two musket pistols right here are actually, it wouldn't be a musket; it would just be a flintlock pistol. A musket is a rifle, anyway. But you get my point. These are just kind of sculpted into the suit itself, and it's got a big D for the belt buckle right there. He does also come with another flint-locked pistol, so there's that. This one has way more detail than these do. These are just a flat black. Nothing too special there. Actually, it's a little bit more of a glossy black as opposed to a matte black. Coming over here, we have the pistola. Looks pretty cool. There's no engravings or anything like that on it. But nice sculpt, regardless. Like I said, the face sculpt is a unique sculpt to this character. Just, I don't know. Was this a necessity that we needed right away? I don't think so. I don't even know how well this is going to sell, because how many people even know about this story? I don't know. I would assume not that many. But he does also come with a cutlass, and the cutlass looks good. It's pretty much the same. I want to say it's the same that came with Nightcrawler. I'm going to kind of glance over at Nightcrawler, and I'd like to assume it is the same, and yes, it is. This is the exact same cutlass that came with Nightcrawler, so just to confirm that, I just took a look at Nightcrawler. So, but there it goes. It's a nice sculpt. I think it fits the character, so therefore it makes sense. Then he also comes with a katana. Now, I understand it's probably for the character, and if that's the case, then great. But looks a little odd. Have a cutlass, and if it's like a little bit overkill, but we're talking about Deadpool here, so everything is overkill. But they do slide right into the sheaths right here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do we really need a pirate Deadpool? No, we don't. Exactly. This spot in this wave could have been given to somebody a little bit more needing of maybe a first appearance character over pirate freaking Deadpool. Um, but then again, I'm also not the biggest Deadpool fan. I don't really give a shit about Deadpool, to be honest with you. The glove on the left hand side looks really good. Nice sculpt there. Nice unique sculpt to him. There's no glove on the right hand side. As you can see, it says DP, not double penetration, but Deadpool. So there's that. The cape looks really good. Nice and tattered look. That was not that was not on purpose. Getting those blades through those holes, but it looks good. Nice tattered look. Underneath here, it's just pretty much just a regular red plastic for the legs. Nothing too special there. And you can achieve, if you really wanted to, maybe if you wanted to just be silly and put this on like a Captain Morgan display, you could have him doing the Captain Morgan. There you go. It's kind of hard to stand him though because he's got all this weight on his leg. Come on, let's see if I can do this. I'll have to tilt him a little bit more. Also, his legs are very, like, I don't know, it's very, very strange. His legs are extremely stiff. His ankles are extremely stiff on him. And I've always said, it's better to have a stiff joint than a loose joint on a brand new figure. But these are extremely stiff, and they don't like to hold. Let's see if I can get him in this pose. I don't think it's going to work because of the tablecloth I'm using. But anyway, you get the point. You can get him into a Captain Morgan look. The as far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel side to side. It does have the ability to do a full 360 rotation. It is on a hinge joint, which hopefully we continue to see the hinge joints. Neck goes back, neck goes forward or down, excuse me. Let's see if we got some job turkeys up in here. A little turkey, a little, that's it. Tilt side to side, arms go up, down, full 360 rotation in the arm, but the stupid sword's getting in the way. Goodbye. Full 360 in the arm. It does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which is really kind of a single joint on this side, but due to the sculpting of this new of this new glove right here. So it's kind of just 90-degree bend there, even though it is a double joint. He does have a wrist swivel, hinge that goes back and forth. On this side it mirrors, so it's pretty much the same on that side as well. He does have a, let me get this sword out of the way now. He does have a waist swivel, no ab crunch. There's no ab crunch to this because this torso is an all-new sculpt right here. But he can go back and forward pretty well. So I don't really have too many issues with him bending back and going forward. But it can also twist. He can't really do the splits due to the sculpting of this jacket opening up here. The legs can go forward, but it's very hindered due to, yet again, the jacket. He does have an upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee, but you can't really do too much with this double jointed knee, even though you have it. But it is there. There's as much of a bend as you can get with this thing on him. And then he does have a boot swivel with no boot, an ankle hinge which points to heel, points to toe, ankle pivot, and he does have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet, as they all do. I don't even know why I'm pointing that out anymore. But there you go. He does come with some cool weapons, so if you wanted to maybe just sell the figure off and keep the weapons, or sell the figure off because you just don't want this figure, you just wanted to build a figure piece like I did, he does come with decent weapons and stuff, so if you wanted to use these for fodder, you could. If you wanted to use the body for fodder, you could. Whatever you want to do. It's your toy at the end of the day. But I got to say, from a objective standpoint, I can dig the sculpt. I can dig the originality of the look for the character. I'm just not a big fan of Deadpool, and I just don't know anything about this whole storyline, so just don't care. Just simply don't care. I think it's a little ridiculous that we have Deadpool as a pirate, but you know, Deadpool and ridiculous are seem like they're always stuck in the same sentence. So, as far as his, let's see, his size comparison goes, put him right there. So I bump into the camera there, Anthony. We'll bring in Night Stalker here. He'll stand. There you go, buddy. There's Night Stalker with him, and we'll bring in his Night Stalker's companion, Rage. There's a comparison with those. He's a little bit on the bigger body. He's more on the more, I don't know, regular body, I guess. Next up, we'll do Iron Man. There's Iron Man right there. And since we're doing Deadpool, we'll bring in the 90s Deadpool. Really the only Deadpool I ever needed was the 90s one. There we go. There's a comparison with that. Okay, grab him, get out of here. And just to put him next to a female character, we'll bring in Rogue. And we'll bring in Blink. So there you go. There's your size comparisons. Bloop, bloop. Overall, I would say maybe he shouldn't be last on the list. Maybe it should go to the next guy I'm about to review because he's a little bit more bland. But I do like the colors a little bit more on the next guy. But this is a very nice original sculpt. I can't appreciate that, but I just simply do not care about this, what's going on here whatsoever. So there you go. There's the first figure. Next up, we have X-Men Deadpool. Yeah, I don't know. Did anybody ask for this? I didn't. We have already gotten a X-Men Deadpool before. I don't know why we're getting two in one wave. One's enough, I think. Especially one where we're getting Pirate Deadpool and then we're getting X-Men Deadpool. I don't need this. I personally would not have put this in the wave. I wouldn't have put either one of those in the wave, but either one of the Deadpool figures in the wave because I feel like we've gotten enough of this character. It's like overkill. It's like beating a dead horse. So, I don't know. Personally, we've seen this sculpt before with the harness and everything. I'm not sure. Maybe there might be some differences, some differentiation between previous Deadpools in the past. I don't know. But this sculpt right here looks very similar. I know it's different from the 90s one, just to compare the two. Obviously, they are different. Just so you can see the differences there. But, so there you go. And obviously the head sculpts are different. Yeah, I don't know. This is just kind of bland to me. It's just kind of a filler spot. Like they ran out of ideas of who to do next. They're like, oh, how can we fill out the wave? We'll put two Deadpools in there. That'll sell. But yet again, I see Deadpool's just peg warming like a mofo. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, he does come with the accessories he comes with. My thoughts and opinions aside, he comes with two guns, which we'll get to. He comes with two katanas that we've seen a ton of times before. And they just fit right into the sheaths in the back, which fit nicely and comfortably. So, and they have a nice feeling when they go in to the hand, when they go into the sheaths on the back. So that's nice. He can hold everything, which is cool. I kind of maybe would have preferred like some sort of like pistol holster for him, but I can understand if this is part of the design. if he didn't have a pistol holster, and they're trying to stay true to that. So I can understand that. That's not the end of the world for me. Just going to tilt this down a little bit. There we go. The overall detail on him is kind of minimal. I'm not gonna lie here. The head, he's kind of doing this squinty head look here, or squinty eye look, like he's being judgmental, or he saw someone that he really can't stand, so he's just giving them that I really hate that guy look, you know. But the teardrop on the back of his head for the, I guess you want to call it balaclava, on the back of his head looks good, or the mask, whatever. The little yellow piece right here is a floating piece. It's a separate piece. You could glue that down if you don't like. Oops, I'm way off camera. You can glue this little piece down if you want to. This whole harness is a separate piece. You can take it off, I believe. I'm not sure if there's a peg on here. I think there might be a peg somewhere on here. You can maybe depeg this. There it is, yeah. So you can take this off. There's a peg right there if you want to. If you want to maybe use it for a different character or something like that, you can go that route if you want to. The option's there. And you would just have to remove the head to do so. Do I mean Nice Thrasher? What did I say? Did I not call him Night Thrasher? Sorry. Might have been a Freudian slip. I don't know. But the line work on him, I want to say, from what I can see, is a little sketchy, especially down here. It gets a little bit sketch. It's not the worst, but it seems a little faded and a little bit like they only went over this once. But I want to say on the upper torso, it's a little bit better. Going throughout the arms, it's a little bit faded on this side as opposed to this side. And some of the line work's a little bit off. I'm just pointing it out. It's not really the end of the world for me, but yeah. So I might end up selling this off too. So it really doesn't really make a big difference to me. what this but speaking from a collector standpoint, if you are interested in this, just with mine, some of the line work for the most part seems pretty straight on, but it seems like they got a little bit sloppy underneath my arm and just down here around the calf. So just to point that out in case you're interested. For the most part, the I want to say the face paint looks pretty good for the mask. No issues there. The katana handles are blue with minimal paint detail. The handguards are gold, and those are actually painted gold, so that's nice. These little 90 Jim Lee, I guess you want to call these cuffs and anklets to give off that Jim Lee vibe, that 90s X-Men look. They are a separate piece, and they're just a yellow plastic. Same thing goes for the harness. So yellow plastic, yellow plastic, yellow plastic, yellow plastic. So there you go with that. The other accessories he does come with this is the same kind of rifle that came with Forge. And this is kind of like a little bit more of a kind of just a gray plastic. It's a little bit more of a shinier gray plastic, but a gray plastic nonetheless. And the pistol that he also comes with is the same, made of the same gray plastic. There's no paint detail on this. These are just plastic pieces. So whatever color that they molded the plastic in, that's what these are. So, but there you go. I want to say the pistol. I'm not sure if this pistol was used with anybody else. Maybe you can let me know in the comments below. But I don't think I've seen this, at least with any of the figures that I own from Marvel Legends. So pretty cool if this is new. If not, then I take it back. Still a cool pistol, though. So, and he can hold everything, as you've seen. If you want to, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want with these, if you choose to do so. As far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel, full 360 rotation if you need it to. His head can look way back, beautiful for flying poses. If you want to have him flying through the air or something like that, you can do that. Head looks down. It kind of tilts a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Let's see if we got some jive turkeys. There you go. You got jive turkeys. Arms go up, down, full 360 rotation. He does have a butterfly joint. And the paint does continue until it breaks up right about the full extension. So there's a little bit of paint breakage. It doesn't really do too much of that on the back. This is maxed out. It's just a little bit, I want to say. He does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, wrist hinge, which goes back and forth. Kind of wish that they gave him a pistol hinge on this side, but they didn't. So both sides are the same. He does have an ab crunch, which does crunch for him to go. The harness does hinder it a little bit, but you can get the full extension. So that's good. And going back, like I said, the harness is going to get in the way a little bit, but it will move back a little bit. He does have a waist swivel, which is completely frozen. There we go. Free that up. And then he can do the splits, which I wish he, with this character specifically, I wish he could do the splits a little bit better than this. He does do kicks and such, so it'd be nice if he could have better range of motion in the legs. There's no drop down leg or anything like that, nothing hidden. But the legs can go forward. They can't really go back too far due to the sculpting of the rear end. Upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee. He does have a boot swivel. Can point the toe, can point the heel, ankle pivot, 2 peg holes, and that's pretty much it for X-Men Deadpool. So if you're interested in that, I got to say his range of motion is okay. The hips could use a little work. Maybe they can upgrade those in the future. Who knows? As far as accessories go, I think his accessories are pretty well done. Deadpool always had those kind of futuristic looking guns, and that's what these are looking like. So size comparison wise, we'll just bring back an Iron Man here. And I don't really dig on doing comparisons with other figure lines really too much, because how much are you really going to put a Deadpool with a wrestling figure that's around the 7-inch mark, or do you really need to see him with a Predator? I don't know. And I don't have Sir Gideon's Heaven's brand, so I can't do Sir Gideon. Can't do it. Maybe I'll do one with a DC character just so you can see what that looks like with a Mattel figure. But there you go with Night Thrasher. I think I called him Night Stalker, so my bad. I don't know why I did that. There you go. There's Aquaman. Sorry for my squeaky seat. Aquaman, and we'll do Rage. So there you go with that. And then we'll do... Stop squeaking so much. It's not a goddamn squeaky wheel. There we go. There we go. And there's Blink, and there is Rogue. So, decent height. Blink is a little bit on the taller body for the females, and so is Rogue. So, all right. So, there you go. I would say, as far as a recommendation with him, you really got to be a Deadpool fan to want him. Or if you want to put him with your X-Men display, you're probably going to want to pick him up. He does come with a decent amount of accessories, which is nice, and it does fit the character, I think. So, he's not a bad figure. It's just not a figure I really care about. Maybe if I cared, he would be higher up on the list. I wouldn't say he's, like I said, even with the Pirate Deadpool, it's not necessarily a horrible figure. I like the sculpt of that, but the range of motion is kind of hurting on the Pirate Deadpool, and this one, it's got better range of motion, but, well, except for the hips. But for me, it's not a necessity to get this. So probably be sold off. All right, so next up, and like I said, some of these I'm basing. I want to be objective, but it's kind of hard because there's certain characters I just don't know about, nor do I guess, care about really. So that does come into play a little bit here. So I guess I'm being a little bit subjective, um, more so than I'd like. Um, but I also do have to stay as objective as I possibly can with allowing some subjective material coming through. So, being objective, I gotta bring in this guy next. As much as I really wanted a Black Tom Cassidy, because I thought he's a necessity to get as far as filling out those villain rogues galleries and such, especially for the X Men, because I feel like it's few and far between we get X Men villains. Like we get a lot of X Men heroes, but we don't get a lot of villains. So it's nice to have another villain, but at that in that same token, there's just something a little off about his face. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know. Maybe it's the facial hair. Maybe it's just there's not any like. Maybe there should be a little bit of paint shading going throughout, a little bit of gray going throughout his hair, just to give him that little bit of an older looking feel. But it's nice to see that we did get Black Tom Cassidy because maybe we'll get his brother Banshee sooner than later. I think this might be the first release of Black Tom Cassidy. I'm pretty sure it is. For the most part, I don't think there's been another release. I'm trying to think. It might have been since the old 90s Toy Biz days that we've gotten a Black Tom. So it's been a long time coming for this character, but I gotta say there's kind of some things about this figure, like some of the choices that were made that were used for him that weren't really in his benefit. He doesn't necessarily have the best range of motion, and that's kind of a letdown. I want to say I care about this character a lot more than some of the other characters in this line or in this wave, excuse me. But I don't know. Being objective, he's just really not all that spectacular. Um, like I said, the face sculpt. There's something just a little weird about this face sculpt. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just me. But and also he just seems a little bit, I don't know, boring, I guess. He comes with his wooden staff, which he's supposed to, or it looks like a shillelagh. Let's just be honest. But he harnesses his power and can use his powers through wood. So he can use energy projections, but he can only use them through a wooden object. So that's kind of why he has this staff, cane, shillelagh. I'll just call it a shillelagh. That's what I want to call it. Anyway, but he does look pretty cool, though, as far as getting that extra rogue in your gallery. It'll be nice to sit him on the shelf with them and do displays and put him with the Juggernaut and stuff. But and hopefully, like I said, we get a Banshee down the road. But I don't know, he's kind of boring. I don't know. He's just got kind of blah tones. He's just black and red, and that's pretty much it. A lot of him is used from the Shatterstar body. The boots are Shatterstar. I believe the gloves are Shatterstar. This torso piece is a retooled Shatterstar, I believe. So there's that. His arms, this is my biggest gripe. His arms just like will not go down past this point. That's about it. This is about all you're getting. I want to pinch his arms down a little bit more, and they just won't go down. This is it. It's just due to the sculpting of this torso, how it's poking out like this to give him that extra buff look, you know? And I also don't remember Black Tom Cassidy being the most buff dude ever. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a weird choice for this. But they wanted to give that baggy look to him, and I guess that's what they wanted to do. So, and they did it. The the aesthetic of this V-neck looks pretty cool. I do like that. The face sculpt, like I said, the face sculpt just looks like something's a little bit off here. Um, I'm liking the facial hair, though. I think that looks pretty unique for him. Maybe the eyes are a little bit cross-eyed here. Maybe that's what's throwing it off. I don't know. I'm just... last time I saw him in a comic, he was a tree. But, I mean, this just reminds me of more of a, you know, a 90s look for him, I guess. It's probably not. I think he actually wore more brown, if I remember him correctly. But anyway, the figure itself, as far as his articulation does go, and I'll go throughout the paint detail next. The head can look that far back, and it is hindered due to the sculpting of this kind of pliable, I guess you want to call this the V-neck on the shirt. His head can look down. It can swivel side to side. It cannot do a full 360 rotation. He's got a little turkey, not a lot, just a whoo, that's it. His head can't really tilt side to side that much. His arms go up, down, full 360 rotation in the arm. He does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which is actually a better double jointed elbow for a body that has these cuffed gloves. So it's actually not too bad. Usually you get just about a single joint about here, but he can actually go a little bit further back. So that's nice. That's a nice little touch. And then he does have a wrist swivel and a hinge, and it mirrors onto the other side. He does have a ab crunch, which goes forward and does go back. And the sculpting does continue for the most part. There's a little bit of gapping issues right there. Not the end of the world, I don't think. Some people like lose their shit if there's gapping at all. It doesn't bother me that much. But he can crunch forward, so that's nice. He does have a waist swivel, which can do a full 360 rotation. This is just an extra floating piece right here for his costume, so looks good though. Legs can go forward. Both legs can go forward nicely. They can go back a little bit past neutral. So there's that. You can do the splits. I believe these legs are the Bucky Cap legs. That's what they look like to me. And then he's got an upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee, which can go all the way back. He does he have a boot swivel? Yes, he does have a boot swivel. So that's nice to have. He can't really point the heel too much at all. He can point the toe. He does have an ankle pivot and 2 peg holes. So it's nice. You can put the shillelagh in either hand. It'll hold it. So no issues there. Kind of wish we would have got a little bit more paint detail just for the skull. Maybe give him some red eyes or something. Just something to make it pop a little bit more. I think that's just the main theme here with poor Black Tom Cassidy, is that he's just a little dull. Maybe it's just guilty by association, just because this is his, design, his look, but I don't know, just kind of blah, I would say this is probably another figure. You could wait for it to go on clearance and pick it up if you really wanted a Black Tom Cassidy, but don't want to spend the, full maybe $20 for him to go on sale around the $15 range and pick him up. Then I would say maybe he's worth it. But range of motion, articulation's decent on him, pretty good. So it's not too bad. Like I said, maybe some of the range of motion's hurting right here from what I pointed out earlier with the arms going down. I would like a little bit better of the splits, but he's not necessarily that type of character anyway, so who gives a shit? The only other thing I could kind of nitpick is that he doesn't really point the heel too much, and that's kind of due to the reuse of the Shatterstar boots, but for the most part, I would say everything else is pretty decent on him. So you know what you're getting into. He's more of a simplistic figure, and that's pretty much it. As far as paint detail, like I said, the head sculpt looks okay, but something about that face is a little bit off. It's probably just the eyes throwing it off, but The everything else on him is pretty much just painted on, except for this floating plastic piece, which I think is unique to him. So there's that to point out. The gloves are, like I said, are just reused, and they're just red plastic. This is actually red. This red symbol is just painted on and does continue throughout the ab crunch. But nice line work actually on the belt piece, so that looks pretty cool. The boots are just a red plastic. Nothing too special here. So, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing really too special about the figure. So, and that's pretty much all he comes with. It comes with a Build-A-Figure piece, and that's about it. So, but that's Black Tom Cassidy, and just for a size comparison sake, let me put him back here and let me center him. We will bring Aeon. We'll bring Rage and Aquaman back in here. There's Aquaman. Oh, come on. And there's Rage. So there you go with that. Boop, doop. And then we'll bring in Iron Man and Night Thrasher. Sorry about that, Night Thrasher. Looking good. And we'll bring in one more. We'll bring in Thor. He's a little bit on the bigger body. And we'll bring in his wave mate. Actually, no mates here. Bring Deadpool back in there. Make this a black and red event. There you go with that. And we'll bring in the two females. There's Blink. And there is Rogue. There you go. Cool beans. Moving on. Action Figure Expert says, it could have sold that Pirate Deadpool. Hasbro took G.I. Joe pole and painted his red and black, preferably the one that came from Rise of Cobra Shipwreck. I guess so. Yeah, they could go. They could have went that route. All right, so there's Black Tom Cassidy. He is the third to the bottom. But he's definitely going to go on my display. Next up, and this is, like I said, I don't know anything really about this character, and Shekla is next. She does come with, what the hell is this guy's name? She comes with, I don't know what this thing is called. It's like a shark with legs. Somebody help me out here, please. Shark pool? Shark leggers? Leg shark? Shake Lark? Shake Lark? The reason why she's a little bit higher up on the list is just because, I don't know, there's just something very unique about her. The look is pretty decent. Some of the paint is a little weird, and I can't stand. I understand that this might be a part of the character's design. Jeffy? Are you shitting me? This thing's name is Jeffy? Because that's the name of my duck. This thing is named fucking Jeffy? Fucking shark with legs? Or Jeff? Well, that's the name of my duck, so that's hilarious. My girlfriend's going to think this is hysterical. As soon as I took this out of the package, she was like, I want that. It's so weird. I want that. So she's going to get a kick out of this if his name is Jeffy. Anyway, but here's Jeffy then. Jeffy the shark with legs. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Well, not ever seen, but, it's a figure of speech. Anyway, this is odd. But odd and different, and just it's got legs. It doesn't articulate. Feed Jeffy that pirate Deadpool. All right, will do. Come here, Deadpool. What's that noise? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Here's Jeffy. He's got no articulation at all. His legs do not move. He's just a static little added character right there. I guess if this is your type of thing, go for it. I don't know anything about this. Someone wants to help me out in the comments? Great. I don't know what's going on here. I guess I have to declare ignorance. I'm an uncultured swine when it comes to Jeffy, the shark with legs. So, does he eat meat? Does he eat people? Does he need water? Why does he have gills? These are the answers I need to this handheld question. Anyway, moving on. We've got Shikla here, and I don't know much about her either. I have to declare ignorance on her, too. I know that she used to date Deadpool, and now she dates Dracula. That's about all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't know her power set. I apologize. I probably should have done more homework on her before I did the review, but I did not buy her. She was not a priority to get. If she was not in the wave, I wouldn't be crying about it. But I got to say, her costume design looks pretty cool, though. She definitely looks like she'd be like maybe some sort of necromancer or something like that. I don't know. But I got to say that they gave her some unique design choices. I like the little bat hair clasp on the back of the head. That looks pretty cool. It even has like a little skull on it. So that's pretty cool. If you maybe wanted to use her for your Mythic Legions, you could. You want to go that route. The face sculpt, for the most part, looks... I think this is a new head sculpt entirely. So, it does look good. I think the paint on her is pretty top-notch. I like the skin tone also. The skin tone is like this nice light pink. Looks pretty cool. And it's pretty consistent throughout the whole body, so that looks good. The neck piece is a separate piece, this whole like necklace piece. It looks pretty good. I want to say the little rubies that are painted there look good. The you can actually, can I pull this hair back a little bit? You can see her. She's got gauges, man. No, I'm just kidding. Those are just hoops. Or they're not really hoops. They're kind of just like a dangly. They look like a dangly gold apple. I'm just kidding. Sharknado universe? I don't know. I don't know. I guess her and Jeffy are a thing. Jeffy the land shark? I don't know. The gold on her is just painted. The gold clasp. We've seen these kind of gold clasps with this kind of crappy... I don't know what this material is. It's like a... It's not paper, but it's like a nylon material of some sort. It's like super thin. We've seen this with Storm. It's kind of crappy. I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably the low point for the figure. I say either use cloth or just use plastic then if you're going to do it. Just either use cloth or plastic. This nylon shit is for the birds. I'm not feeling it. The little gold details just make it look even more cheap. The shininess makes it look cheap. I'm not feeling it. It doesn't look good. So stop doing that. Stop doing that, Hasbro. Cut the shit. Anyway. The gold trim on her does look pretty good, though. I don't have any really big issues with that. Might be a little bit of paint slop on the boobie. But that's it for her. The belt piece is a separate piece also, and the rubies on her belt piece look pretty good. It is a floating piece, so it's going to move around and such. If you don't want it to move around, do what I do and just use some super glue on the figure, and then it won't move. The clasps right here for her, I guess you want to call this a cape of some sort that's attached to her wrists. Those are just a gold plastic. And then the leggings and torso piece, it's kind of like this purple with like a design on it, which actually does look pretty cool. Maverick's falling over. I have to pick him up. But it's pretty cool. I'm trying to get this on my on camera so you guys can see that. I think those are like skulls and stuff, but it's like a light black outline for the skulls and bones. I think it's skulls and bones. It looks pretty cool though. I'm not sure how much you guys can see that. Hopefully you can see it, but it looks pretty cool going throughout the torso and the um, the upper thigh portion. She does have some black underwear on with some gold, and then gold on the thigh-high boots. And the dreaded high-heeled boots. Whew. It's like if you're going to give us high-heeled boot character, just give us a figure stand with it so we can at least stand them up. These figures are a pain in the frickin' ass to have to stand up. I have a few white queens, especially the older white queen. Oh, well, there we go. Now, of course, because I just said that, she's going to stand perfectly fine. You jerk. Anyway, but as far as her articulation does go, her head can swivel side to side. Let's see how much I can get with her head back without the hair starting to come off or split off to the head. Not too much. You can get about there. And the hair just keeps getting in the way due to the sculpt of the long hair. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Her head can look down about that far. This is back to neutral here. She does have a really nice tilt there. Let's see if she's got some jive turkeys. Oh yeah, look at that turkey. That's a good turkey right there. And then arms go up, down, full 360 rotation in the arm. The cape portion does get in the way. She does have a single bend at the elbow, which is about 90 degrees. A swivel at the elbow, a swivel at the wrist. Hinge joints on both sides in the same points. Ab crunch goes back, forward. It's kind of more of a diaphragm joint. And then tilt side to side, and it can swivel with limited rotation there. She can do the splits about this far, which is, I think, if you're going to give us a female figure and she can't do the splits well, it's like, what the hell are we doing here? I don't know. Legs go forward. Really good. Nice high kick right there. Legs can go back a little bit in the way of the sculpting of the butt. This little stupid flying gnat keeps driving me nuts. Full 360 rotation in the upper thigh swivel. A double jointed knee, which is really nice. She can point the heel. She can point the toe. And there's your awkward ankle pivot for the heels. And that is Shikla in a nutshell. And there's Jeffy. She's okay. I mean, I think she's more of a relatively newer character. I think she debuted in 2014. So to me, or actually, I think was it 2004? No, it was 2016. I think. So she's relatively a newer character when it comes to comic books. She's definitely from the Deadpool side of lore and such. Like I said, I'm sorry I don't know too much about her. I tried to give you as much information that I looked up before I did the review. And sell her, keep Jeffy. I don't know. I might actually keep her because I actually dig the design. I like the uniqueness of her. The other Deadpools I could care less about. I have the 90s Deadpool. But she looks actually pretty unique, so I might actually keep her around. And obviously Jeffy is going to my girlfriend. She can have Jeffy. But there is Shikla, and let me get her. I'm going to try and get her to stand so I can do size comparisons. She feels like she's a little bit on the taller side for a female character, which is not a bad thing. You know, obviously not everybody's the same damn height, so I don't mind that. Let's get the female comparisons in there really quick. There is Rogue. And there is... no, move this over. Rogue and Blink. There we go. Get this stupid bug out of here. But yeah, she's definitely on the taller side due to the heels, I think. So she's a little bit taller. Get out of here. I'm going to kill this stupid bug. All right, so there's that. And then we'll bring in Mr. Aquaman. And we'll bring in, switch it up and put in Aquaman. And we'll bring in Thor. Love that Thor. It's, I gotta say, one of my favorite Thor figures. So good. So good. And then we'll bring in Night Thrasher, or actually we'll bring in 90s Deadpool. Just because, you know, they used to date, you know. Could still be feelings there, you know. Never know. We'll bring in Deadpool and we'll bring in Iron Man. There you go with that. So she's definitely a little bit on the taller side, which is pretty cool. And then last but not least, we'll bring in Big Boy. And then we'll bring in Night Thrasher. There you go. Those are your comparisons. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it for Shikla. Nothing really else to talk about. She does include a Build-A-Figure piece, and this is pretty much her accessory. Jeffy, thank you for... Who was that that pointed that out? I gotta say thank you to you. Come back here, you. Jason, thank you. Jason and Gaz, thank you. But all right, so we'll put her aside for now. All right, next up. Now this is where you start getting to the top tier figures of the wave. This is where it starts getting tough for me, because I pretty much like all the rest of these characters. I was really looking forward to all of the rest of these releases when they announced the rest of this wave, and I think this is some of the best figures in the wave. But next up, I'm going to have to go with Warpath. No, you mean she's Jeff's accessory? Okay, we'll do that. We'll go with that then. We'll go with that then, guys. He does come with extra set of hands, which I do have. They are right here. They're pretty much just an open gripping hand. I've heard some people complaining about he doesn't come with his knives. Well, this version of Warpath didn't really use knives. He's kind of just the muscle of the group. So he didn't really use knives until, what was it, X-Force? Was it X-Force? The silver, black and gray X-Force, I think. So he didn't really have them, so it's kind of unnecessary to give him those. And on top of that, there's nowhere to store them anyway, where the old one, I believe, had a place to store them. I do have a custom one to compare him to, which I will grab if I can find him. I think I might have ended up... Did I put him away? Uh-oh. I think I put him away. Well, I do have one. I think I did a review of him a long time ago. Like years ago. But... Well, anyway, I double-checked. I must have put him away. Anyway, this is definitely Rob Liefeld's Warpath. And I think it looks good. I don't really have too much of an issue with it. Some people were like, oh, it's kind of weak. He doesn't come with anything. He does come with gripping hands. So if you do want to have him, at least they gave you the option. At least they, if you have the knives from the previous Warpath, and you really want to give him the knives, you can, because he does come with 2 open hands, which just plug right in. I'm probably just going to keep him with the fist hands. I like the fist hands. Like I said, he's supposed to be the muscle of the group, and already an OP character. He doesn't really need knives to make him even more of a badass. So there's that. I really like the simplisticness. No, that's not a word. how simple he does look. But I also really like the skin tone that they decided to give him. I finally got that stupid bug. Yes, I'm so happy with myself now. Anyway, the face sculpt on him looks really good. I like this hair sculpt. Looks very nice. It's nice to get another Native American character. We got Forge, and now we have Warpath, and we're getting Thunderbird in that 2-pack with Storm. So it's nice to keep getting some Native American characters. But he is OP. If you know who Warpath is, you know he's OP as hell. Dude is a beast. And a lot of him has new sculpt to him. These little frayed fringes or tassels, I should say, kind of Ultimate Warrior style tassels on him are new. A new sculpt. Obviously, these shoulder pads, which can pop off, are a new sculpt. He is on the Omega Red body, and I really like that body. It's a body that hasn't been really used that much with Marvel Legends, which is kind of strange. I would think that if you have a new body that you just came out with, you would want to start pumping out characters that can use that body. So, but here we finally have one, which is nice. I like the feathers and the hair. That looks pretty cool. It's just like a white plastic, but I think it works. I like the overall grimacing of his face. He's kind of just like, he is pissed off. And you don't want to be pissed on. But there's the... Oh my god, these bugs just keep... These little gnats just keep flying around. They're like touching my nose and stuff. It's annoying. Anyway, he's got like a... I want to say it's not a whited out eye. It's kind of like a silver eye, which is... It gives it a little bit extra different feel to him. Makes him feel a little bit special. But like I said, both shoulder pads can be taken off, and then there you go. You have him with no shoulder pads on. But I think it actually makes the figure look larger when you have the shoulder pads on. So I'm not going to really complain about stuff depegging. You can always glue these on, and they'll never come off. So you'll never have to worry about that. So if it's an issue, maybe you like these maybe you like this character with these off and makes it look better for you, you can take them off. But if you want them on, you can just glue them on. Actually sculpting on the inside of the shoulder pad too, which is, I don't even think you're going to see the inside of the shoulder pad too much, but you can actually see some padding in there, which is nice. You can actually see where the little tassels from the shoulder pads are kind of separating right here, and that's part of the sculpt, I believe. So that's pretty cool. What else? Like I said, the tassels here, and then we've got this belt, which I think is a new sculpted belt for him. I don't think I remember seeing this on anybody else. Let me take a look at Omega Red. Nope, not on Omega Red. So this is a newly sculpted belt right here. Everything else is pretty much just painted on, except for the little bracelets right here, which are just kind of like a gold plastic. They look good. All the line work looks pretty decent. Even when you get all the lines lined up like so, he still has a nice neutral pose, which is really good. And I want to say almost a rarity for Marvel Legends. Even on the back, when you line up the back and the front lined up are perfect. They're spot on, totally on point. So that's really nice. It's a nice thing to finally have. You're even getting a little bit of wrinkling in the boot detail here. It still is the Omega Red boot, but it's nice to just have that little bit of a flow to the figure. So that's nice. The belt is just a red plastic. The shoulder pads are a red plastic. The tassels on his boots are just a red plastic, so that's nice. It's not too bad. Like I said, if you're a customizer and you can do a little bit of paint shading going throughout, you could really make this figure pop even more. The red on his chest for his symbol is just painted on. Nothing on the back really, except for the butt, and then the back of the legs going down to the boots. But I gotta say, for the most part, as far as what I can see, the line work is the best on this figure out of any of the other figures that I already showed. Maybe the Pirate Deadpool had really good line work too. He's like I said, he's a little bit more of a simplistic design, but you know that's if it works, right? As far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel side to side. He can look back, so he can look up nicely. He can look down, which is good for a big guy. You want him to be able to look down. I'm just going to take these off just for the sake of articulation because they're going to pop off once I start moving this arm. The arms is something, a little bit of a nitpick I want to get to, but we'll get to that when I get to it. Head can tilt side to side. Let's see if we got some jive turkey. Oh my God, he is turkey-licious. He is a Thanksgiving turkey. Look at that. Oh my God, those jive turkeys. The arms can go up, and this is about it. Oh, no, wait. This side seems to be going up a little bit further. So, oh, wait, no, I take that back. All right. So initially when I moved this arm up, I didn't move this arm up. So I take that back. His range of motion with the arms going up is spot on. So not too much of a big deal there. I'm sure if you, like I said, if you glue these down, these will stay, and then you can get the full range of motion with the shoulder pads on because these tassels are a much more pliable plastic, so you can get that full range of motion in the arm. You're not going to be able to do a full 360 with the arm. Here it is with the shoulder pad off. He does have a butterfly joint as well, so if you want to get him in those maybe like flying poses where he's about to pummel somebody and you want to get his arms all the way back like so, you can accomplish that with this. Might be a little bit more of a hindrance with the shoulder pad on, but you can still get that going. So there's the butterfly joint. Really good range of motion in that. He's got a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which is pretty good for a big guy. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge. There's the full swivel. And it mirrors on the other side, so they're exactly the same. Crunches back nicely. Crunches forward. And you don't have to worry about any sculpt breaking up, or sculpt body, or paint, excuse me, breaking up there. Even when you crunch back. So those of you that do like to nitpick that, you don't have to worry about it. He does have a waist swivel. He does do the splits actually pretty well for a larger scaled figure. It's pretty good. Does he have drop down legs? No, he does not. Legs go forward, legs go back, upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee. This, on this part of my leg, I think this is the only real big, huge gripe I have with this figure. For some reason, I got a little bit of a loosey-goosey knee at the bottom section of the double jointed knee. It's not the end of the world. I can always fix that with some floor polish. No big deal. He does have a boot swivel. He can point the toe. He can point the heel. And he does have an ankle pivot. So that's nice. Overall, like I said, this is kind of a tough call with the rest of these figures. I almost want to put him higher. It's kind of like almost like a tie to the top of the Build-A-Figure. And whenever I usually rank the figures in the wave, I never usually rank them against the Build-A-Figure. I think that's kind of an unfair thing to do, to rank them against a Build-A-Figure, because the Build-A-Figure is like the big feature of the wave. So I try to at least rank them figure to figure in the wave and keep the Build-A-Figure as its own thing, if I'm going to rank a Build-A-Figure, I'll rank them against other Build-A-Figures. But that's just me. Like I said, you can pop the hands off and put the open gripping hands in there. And if you want to take these off, you can take those off too. And this is what it looks like with the... Oh, that fell off again. It's okay. That's what it looks like with no wristband on. I like them with them on, and I like the fist hands. So there you go with that. Let's put these on. I'm probably going to glue these on. To be honest with you, it's just a little bit easier to deal with. And as far as size comparisons go, let's get him over here. All right, so we'll start with the big guys first. Because he's a big guy, let's see how big he is. Next to Rage, he dwarfs Rage and Thor. Thor, I want to say Thor is a hair bit taller just because of the wings on his head and maybe that spike. Other than that, I want to say they're about the same. If you don't count the spike and the wings, they're about the same height. They're a different bulk from each other, different body molds, but I think they look good. I think he's a pretty decent size. Some people are actually complaining that I've seen in other reviews that he should be maybe around this height. I know Warpath in the 90s was depicted a little bit larger, a little bit like ridiculously larger at times, but then again, so was Strong Guy. So, I mean, how big do you actually think they're going to make him as a single carded release? I think he's a perfect size the way he is. So there you go with that. There is Blink and there is Rogue. And then we'll bring in Mr. Aquaman. And we'll bring in Night Thrasher. There you go with that. And moving along. There we go with Iron Man and 90s Deadpool. So there you go. There you go. Overall, I would say he's definitely a recommend. I do like this figure quite a bit. And like I said, the lack of accessories really don't bother me too much. Like I said, he was the muscle and just kind of used his hands at the time. So it doesn't really bug me. I really like this head sculpt a lot. I gotta say, it looks like a much better head sculpt than the Thunderbird one does that's coming out, which I think actually Thunderbird's a little bit on a smaller body, which I also don't mind. We'll get to that once I get that 2-pack. But overall, I'm really digging this figure. I think he's a good height, good size. And if you want to compare him to a teammate, let's put him right here, and I'll go grab Cable really quick. Cable's a little bit on a larger body, but Cable is also depicted in the 90s larger at times. So it's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You're damned if you don't make them larger, and you're damned if you do make them larger, because some people won't like that. So he's still taller than Cable, so I don't mind this size for him. Could he be a little bit taller? Maybe, yeah. But it's not a deal breaker by any means, I don't think. He's definitely taller than Cable, and that's what you need. So, but yeah, I would definitely go ahead and say that Warpath is a 2 thumbs up. Go pick him up. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh man, this is tough because I really like all these characters, but next up I'm gonna have to go with Sunspot. Sunspot, he's just another one of my favorite X-Men characters, and this is the epitome. I'm really hoping that eventually, I know we got Danny Moonstar, the Walgreens exclusive, which I'll tell you this, I never saw one of those in any of my Walgreens, so I never got a chance to pick her up, or the Wolfsbane head, or it was kind of the 3-in-1 figure pack. But I'm really hoping that we get the original New Mutants in maybe a 5-pack or something like that. Also, that Wolfsbane that's in that 3-in-1 figure with Danny Moonstone and Karma. It's kind of more of like a 90s X-Force look for Wolfsbane, because the original Wolfsbane actually turned into a actual wolf. So it's not really accurate for that, just to point that out. So I don't know, if I do ever track down that 3-in-1 figure, I'll probably do a review just to point that out. But for the most part, I'm pretty pleased with this 90s looking Sunspot. He looks great. I'd like to find, if I could, in my effects pieces somewhere, a yellow set to kind of go over this black set of effects pieces that we've seen time and time again, but I think it fits the character. As long as it fits the character, I don't have an issue with it. But you can take these off. We've seen these numerous times with, like, I don't know, pretty much a ton of necromancer characters and Havoc. We've seen them with Doctor Strange. We've seen these effects pieces over and over again. They're not necessarily bad pieces. I think they work. But anyway, talking about the figure itself here. Moving on. He is on the, I want to say he's on the Bucky Cap body mold. His upper torso is a new piece, though. It's definitely not the same because the Bucky Cap body mold, at least the upper torso piece above the lower ab crunch, has like so many muscles in the back, and these have a lot less muscle. So I want to say that this is a new upper piece. And this is also, I think it's sculpted into the body, is it? I'm trying to figure that out. And then you also have this new kind of effect piece for Sunspot, which is really nice. I think it fits the character nicely as well. So that's pretty cool. Overall, really just, you got to love how much this design pops. Especially when you have the figure in hand, it really does set itself apart from and stand out in your X-Force display, I gotta say. So I think it's a really nice design for him. I dug the 90s look for him. I dug a lot of the 90s look. They were just, some of them were so out there and different from each other that while still looking like a team, that they were so aesthetically appealing. But the face sculpt, I think they nailed it with the face sculpt. The face sculpt looks fantastic. I love the little the bands in the back kind of floating in the wind. Looks great. The hair looks good. The mask looks good. That kind of domino mask effect looks nice. The reds, where there's red plastic and there's red paint, you do notice a little bit of a differentiation between the two. Even in the red plastics, like this is a darker red plastic up here, and then you have a kind of a lighter plastic right here for the crotch piece, because you can tell that the plastics are just different. This is more of a hollow plastic, and this is a thick plastic. That's the only really big deal there. As far as the leg designs, these are, I think, the same as the Nega bands that were used for, they're just a yellow plastic that were used for Captain Marvel that was released. And I'll just bring Captain Marvel in here so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. If I can do this without knocking everything over. Oh, God. Okay. As you can see, they are exactly the same. They're just a yellow plastic as opposed to a gold plastic. So that's pretty, I don't mind the reuse of that. It doesn't really bug me. I actually thought they were going to go cheap here and paint these on. And these little designs here on the boot, they're actually sculpted into the leg, which I thought, knowing Hasbro, I was like, usually they're going to go cheap. And they always usually go cheap on us when it comes to the comic book characters, which kind of is a huge letdown to me. And they always put the sculpt into the movie figures. But I think now, because there's no movies coming out other than the Black Widow one, which got pushed back, and Eternals, which I think is getting pushed back, that they're starting to maybe get a little bit more budget for the comic book characters, which is really nice. Hopefully that's a theme that continues. But anyway, the collared piece, like I said, I think it's a separate piece. It's wanting to move around, but it is sculpted into the torso. So I think this is a new upper torso right here, which is nice. This is all sculpted in and painted well. It's a yellow paint. We've got blue for the outsides, which look good. Everything is crisp and clean looking. I don't really have too many issues with line work here. You don't really have too many issues with breaking up of the sculpt or anything like that. This figure feels very smooth. Same thing with Warpath. I had that one little issue with the knee joint being a little bit loose, but he feels solid. He feels good. And I really like that this isn't even removable. I don't necessarily need this removal because, you know, he kind of, Sunspot always has that like little bit of effect to him. So I don't mind that too much. As far as his articulation does go, though, his head can look back. So if you want to get him into the flight pose, you can. Head can look down into the. So if he gets cold, he can hide his mouth into his collared piece right here. His head doesn't really tilt at all. He's got a little jive turkey, not too much, just a. That's about it. His arms go up, down, full 360 rotation in the arm, bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which is really nicely done. So that's good there. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge, which goes back and forth. Mine's a little bit frozen, but there you go. And then we do have an ab crunch forward, ab crunch back, full 360 at the waist. You can do the splits, which is pretty much on par with all the other Bucky Cat body molds, so nothing too crazy there. Legs go forward, back, upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee. Boot swivel, points to toe, points to heel, ankle pivot, 2 peg holes. So nothing that's overly crazy. I just really dig this character. I love Sunspot. Like I said, he's one of my favorite X-Men characters. Hopefully we get a New Mutants version of him, and hopefully we can round out the rest of that New Mutants team as well. But I'm really pleased to have his X-Force look here, and I think it pops. I think it looks really good. Is it simplistic? Yes, it is. Just by design, and because it's a comic book figure and they don't put too much tender love and care usually into their comic book figures, but I think he looks pretty damn good. I'm really, really pleased with this figure, and that's why I think, for me, he's a little bit higher up on my list as far as the quality of the wave. So hopefully we get a redo of Cannonball, man, because Cannonball is another one of my favorite characters just in Marvel in general. And hopefully we get a New Mutants version of Cannonball, and hopefully we get a Cannonball with some legs too, because that would be nice. So there's Sunspot. As far as, let's compare him really quick. I really am pleased with the joints on him. They're just really fluid. They feel solid. I don't have too many issues with him. It doesn't take much for him to stand. It's just very simple. Here he is with a teammate. So if you want to check him out with Cable, let me get his legs proper. Here he is with Cable. And since we already had him out here, let's just put him with Captain Marvel there. As far as standing goes, there you go. And then we'll bring in Mattel figures to kind of gauge what he looks like with other figure lines. There's Night Thrasher. He's got a bent knee. Why are you doing that, dude? Night Thrasher. Night Thrasher's a little bit taller. And then we have the 2 females. We've got Blink and we've got Rogue. And then we'll bring in the 2 big boys. 2 big boys. We have Rage and Thor. Oh, sorry, Sunspot. Thor, you're so rude, just knocking people over. There we go. Cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. And last but not least, we'll do 90s Deadpool and Iron Man. Iron Man, they're about the same height. So there you go. I think they all look good together. Yeah, so Sunspot, definitely 2 thumbs up. I actually don't mind these effects. I think it fits the character, even these little bubble effects. Um, it also goes with the bubble effects he's got in the back. Um, these not being removable doesn't really bother me too much. I like the head sculpt a lot. The work is pretty solid on him. I wish he could do the splits a little bit better, but that's kind of the Bucky Cat body mold. It's been limited for years. I like the new torso piece. I like the overall aesthetic of him. He just looks good. I like the fact that they actually sculpted these design pieces, so it looks like he's wearing a suit, not just painted on lines. I like this collared piece with the X symbol. That looks pretty good. And yeah, go get them if you need them. All right, so I'm guessing you guys know who number one is here by now, and I am getting parched. I need some. I'm gonna have to go get some. Take a water break before I do the strong guy build a figure. But here is number one, I think, in the wave, and I think he would be number one for the most part in most people's opinions. This is a figure, I'll be honest with you, that I've been asking for years. Mav, part of Task Force X. Hopefully we get an maybe a Sabretooth or maybe even a Wolverine in this deco too. That would be cool. But he's pretty cool. He's really good friends with Wolverine there. Wolverine has actually respected this guy quite a bit after, sacrificing family members to save Wolverine countless times. So it's pretty cool, though. I like I said, this whole body, this is what makes this figure exciting, and this is what makes this figure, I think, the best figure in the wave. And could maybe rival the Build-A-Figure because this is an all-new sculpt here. Everything you see here, top to bottom, except for this gun, which I'll get to in a second. Everything here, I think even this gun that he comes with is a new sculpt. Everything here is a new sculpt. There's nothing really reused. Maybe the hands are reused. I'm pretty sure for the most part, this whole upper torso piece, everything, the legs, the sculpt of the legs, everything, it's all a new sculpt. And it's few and far between that we get a new sculpt from Hasbro, especially when it comes to a comic book character. But they did the damn thing here. They did a really good job on this. They even gave him his little gas mask, which is awesome. All these hoses going into the back of his head. They don't even hinder articulation. They're that pliable where you can actually look how far I can get him to go, and he'll hold that pose. I mean, that's snapping your neck right there, but he can look up, and there's no issues. He can look down, and I thought these hoses were going to be all up in the way. I thought they were going to be nice, or I thought they were going to be stiff and just getting in the way. Sorry, there's a bug. But you can tilt his head. None of this is an issue. It's all about form meeting function. Does the form meet the function? And it absolutely does with this figure. On top of that, you've got new sculpt. You've got pretty good line work. I don't have any really issues with any of the line work here. Where there's detail supposed to be, there's detail. Where there's not, there's not. There's even the marbleization. We all know about the marbleization for most Marvel Legends with their plastics and such. And there's really not a whole lot of that. A little bit here, but that doesn't really bother me. That is a nitpick gripe. Maybe a little bit here in the gauntlet, but it's still not enough for me to say, this figure is not that great. Because he's a good figure. He is a very good figure. The Marvel Legends Hercules figure is a really good figure. That's another figure I don't think enough people talk about. But this is another one that people should be talking about. This is, like I said, I'll give the devil his due when it's due. And it's due here. This is a really good figure. And they definitely executed. You could tell that whoever worked on this figure really gave a shit, because the line work on him, all this is sculpted. All of this metal work is sculpted into the suit. Um, all these lines, I'm pretty sure that these lines right here are sculpted in. Yes, they are. They're sculpted into the body. There's even line work going into the gold pieces right here. The ammunition going throughout his back onto the other side. And it gives you that 90s look. Like, it looks like Mav. So his holster is actually a usable holster. I'm not sure if you can get this gun in there. I haven't tried yet. I wanted to try on camera. Yeah, nah, not really. It's not, I mean, I guess you could have it like that, but it's not really wanting to stay. So maybe you could have this in his hand, and you can put the other gun, which actually is a reuse. A lot of people are trying to peg this. They were trying to figure out what gun this goes to, and it actually goes to the first appearance of this gun was actually in the San Diego Comic-Con Star-Lord action figure, and then they re-released him in the box set. So this is actually Star-Lord's gun reused, but this gun is an all-new sculpt. But the Star-Lord gun can fit into the holster, so if you just wanted to hide that there you go. It can hold both weapons, as you saw already. And I just really like the brown right here. That's kind of just like I think this is a brown I think this is a brown plastic, and then no, it's like a gray plastic, and I think this brown is like painted on. But yeah, it's definitely brown painted on, because you can see a little bit of a paint defect right there. So, but you know, that's the one defect I see on him. I don't see any other defects anywhere else, or bleeding through or anything like that. All this is sculpted detail, very nicely done. The boots, the side of the boot is nice sculpted detail with these little rings around the boot. The belt itself looks really good. Nice brown paint right there for the holster and the pouch. It just looks really good. Like, it's like Mav straight off the pages of the comic. So definitely really pleased here with this. You can actually get his gas mask up over his mouth too, if you want to have that look as well. It is a separate piece, so it is going to move. If you want this permanently up, you can always glue it. So that's an option for you. You don't have to do it, but it's an option. This brown strap is painted okay. There's a little bit of the paint that was missing right here, but you know, that's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh my God, they didn't even paint this, you know. So it looks really good. I really love the sculpt of the hair too. The sculpt of the hair looks really good. There's not a whole lot of black paint shading going throughout, but I don't really think it needs it. It looks crisp. This guy looks like he came right off the pages of the comic, and that's what it's all about. Does it look like the source material? Yes. Does form meet function? Yes. Is the line work good? Yes. Would I've liked a little bit more paint detail, maybe just on the backpack portion right here, just to liven this up? Sure. But, you know, not the end of the world. It's still a really good figure. I like the line work on the face too. Looks really good. The red eyes and everything. Very nicely done. As far as his articulation does go, swivels at the head. Oop, I'm bumping the camera, sorry. Swivels at the head. Like I said, he can pretty much almost get all the way around. It is a little bit limited due to the hoses. The head can go all the way back. The head can look down. He can tilt side to side. Let's see if we got some job turkeys. Oh, yeah, we do. Got some job turkeys. Arms go up like so. Down, full 360 rotation in the arm, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow right there. Arms go straight again, swivel at the wrist. Oh, he actually has a pistol. Does he have pistol on this side? Yeah, pistol grips on, so they go up and down. And this one goes up and down as well. So 2 pistols, which I think makes perfect sense for the character. Like I said, making things make sense for the character knowing that he needs pistol grips for this character is well thought out. So both articulations and the wrists mirror each other. He does have a diaphragm joint. I don't think he has a waist swivel. If it's there, mine's frozen, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. He just has a diaphragm joint, and it goes back about that far. It goes forward about this far. It's going to be hindered due to this whole sculpted belt piece right here. So it's a little understandable, but at least the articulation is there. So there's back and forth, side to side. It can swivel, and it's kind of on like a ratchet joint, as you can hear it clicking. That's okay. He can do the splits really well. Legs go forward. They do go back a touch. Upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee. He does have a boot swivel, which does swivel on both sides. Points to toe, points to heel, and he does have an ankle pivot. 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So there you go with Mav. I mean, there's... I don't know. He's a really solid figure. I really like this figure quite a bit, in case I haven't said that enough. But here is... We'll do some size comparisons really quick, then we'll move on to the Build-A-Figure. Okay, so we'll grab Cable over here. Put Cable up next to him. And we'll grab... Who else? We'll grab... why not? We'll just grab Sunspot in the Bucky Cat body mold, so he's on his kind of own body mold here. He's kind of his own height. I actually want to grab a figure that's on the Hyperion body mold, so we can just check that. So I'll grab Sabretooth, because I want to see how he stacks up as far as height-wise, if he actually is his own height. So just bear with me 1 minute while I get him neutral posed. All right. There we go. Get him out of here. And then we'll just bring in Sabretooth here. Get him standing properly. And there we go. So there's the Hyperion body mold. And I want to say they are very close. I think Sabretooth's a little bit taller, just by a hair. And I think that might be due to the head sculpt as well. So, but he is definitely taller and wider than Mav. So Mav is on his own body mold, so that's nice. Next up, we'll do... Get Cable out of there. Night Thrasher. And we'll do 90s Deadpool. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Can't help it. And then we'll do the big boys. There we go. Rage is taller by a little bit. And then we have Thor, which is much taller. And then we'll do the two ladies and call it a day with the wave figures. There we go. There's Rogue and Blink. And there we go. So, now moving on to the Build-A-Figure. I'm going to have to reposition my camera here. Oh, the Build-A-Figure. Wow, how long have I been asking for this? Holy sheep shit on a shingle. A long time. I've been wanting this character for quite a bit. And we finally got him. I finally have him in hand. And I'm really pleased with the overall look of him. I honestly didn't think they were going to be able to get this right, but they did for the most part. He looks fantastic. I think he's the right size. Could he be a little bit larger? Sure. But I think the proportions that they got with him, because he's a very disproportionate person, he kind of has small hand syndrome. And the way he's drawn, he also has tiny feet. And I think it's hilarious that they got the tiny feet down perfectly. So I think that's a really nice little touch that they decided to go with that pure Jim Lee 90s. Take the character and draw and just apply it to the action figure form. And I think they nailed it with this. Same thing like they did with Sunspot, like they did with Maverick also. They think they just absolutely nailed it with this. There's a I want to say one gripe I have, and that's that this kind of yellow plastic is a little bit, I don't know, too light of a plastic. Maybe I would have liked a little bit of paint shading just going throughout here. Maybe put a little bit of a black line in between the X's just to give that extra oomph. Maybe this look is a little bit more true to it. And I know they were trying to go for a more vibrant 90s look for him, but I think it would have spruced it up a little bit more. But anyway, talking about the figure itself, the shoulder pads, this whole piece, this whole sculpt is obviously, it's Strong Guy. No one else has reused these parts before. So this is the Strong Guy mold. I'm wondering if we're ever going to get this mold again past a Build-A-Figure. Maybe down the road they'll release a X-Force box set. Who knows? But the body itself looks pretty cool. I like the how large his shoulders are, how broad his shoulders are, how tiny his little bald head is, and that cheesy grin. Love it. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Love that cheesy grin. And the little 90s kind of glasses he's got. The little curly Q, a little piece of hair in the front. The rest of him is bald. The teeth are not as white as they look more natural white. Because you know how natural white teeth have kind of like almost a hue to them. Where most people, if you get your teeth bleached, they're like straight white and they're like blinding. And you could tell that they got them bleached white. These look more of like a natural white, which is kind of a nice job on whoever painted the teeth. So good job with that. The collared piece is a different colored yellow to the plastic yellow piece, which is the torso piece, just because this plastic piece is more of a pliable plastic right here. So there's that. Just to point out, in case that's something that bothers you, this plastic piece kind of matches this plastic piece right here. Just to point that out. 1 second, I do have to plug in my charger really quick because my phone is going dead. Uno momento, por favor, senors. All right, we back? Can everybody hear me okay? Connectivity issues. Although at 104 minutes, I would expect that. But anyway, we're back. And so the figure itself, like I said, the sculpting on the torso piece looks really good with the silver paint right here on the side, including going out throughout the back of the shoulder blades and such. The shoulder piece itself is a nice painted silver, and this is all painted on. The blue for the, I guess, underneath the shoulder piece right here looks good. It's just like a blue plastic. Then we got some yellow plastic right here, and yellow plastic for the fists. So looks nice. Pretty pleased with it. This is all blue plastic right here. Blue plastic, yellow plastic, blue for the legs. And then we've got yellow plastic pieces. And these you can move side to side. So these are separate pieces, same as this. So you can move those, articulate them whenever you want. As far as his articulation does go, his head can move up, can look down. It is on a ball peg joint. So similar to what we got with War Machine, I don't really mind it for a Build-A-Figure. It doesn't bother me for a Build-A-Figure, but for a regular release figure, not feeling the ball peg joints. But for this, it doesn't bother me too much. He can look down, which he needs to, and he can look up. In case someone's flying at him, he can look side to side. He's not going to be able to do a full 360 rotation. Let's see if he's got Jive Turkeys. Oh, we got some stronger Jive Turkeys. So there you go with that. Strong guy turkeys. Arms go all the way up. Let's see if there's any scrapage of the armor piece. No, I think it clears it pretty well. So you go with that. And they go down, full 360 rotation. A nice little ratchet right there. It's like a silent ratchet, which is nice. He doesn't have a bicep swivel because there's no bicep joint right there. But he does have a single bend at the elbow, which is about 90 degrees. And then a swivel at the elbow as well. So pretty good range of motion there for a big guy. Swivel at the wrist. He does have a hinge joint, which is kind of stiff on mine. So let's try the other side, but there you go. That's the range of motion you get with that. And there's the swivel. He does have a crunch back. He does have a crunch forward. He can tilt side to side, and he can swivel. So really good range of motion with him for the most part. I mean, look at that. He is very well done. Legs go forward. Legs go back. Upper thigh swivel. A double jointed knee. Points the toe. Points the heel, ankle pivot, 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet, and that's it. A lot of people were complaining that he had issues with standing up. I have not had one issue with him standing up. I don't know what these other people are talking about. He's not fallen over once. He's pretty well balanced, especially for a figure that's got tiny feet. So there's that. As far as, your size comparisons go, I'll try to just bring in some of the larger characters here just so you can get an idea of how big he actually is. There's Cable. There's that. So there's your comparison with that. There's that little comparison. Sorry to text somebody really quick. And next, we'll do 2 more big dudes. There's Rage. There is Thor. And there's Sabretooth on the Hyperion body mold. And here is Mav. Oh, his wave mate. There's those 2, and then who else do we do? We'll do the 2 ladies. Oh, she's a lady. Whoa, 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 yes, a lady. Talking about my sexy lady. And the lady is mine. There you go. Oh, thanks a lot, Eric. Hopefully Hasbro will ship yours soon. I hope so too, bud. I hope so too. And then if you want to get an idea of what he looks like with a DC figure, there you go. And there's an Iron Man for you. And we'll do 1 more set. Do 90s Deadpool. And and we'll do Night Thrasher, and then, you know, I gotta do this, of course. Have to do this. Come here, sir. Come here, sir. Come here, sir. Come here, madam. All right, so you can't have Strong Guy without his teammates. And, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And for some reason, man, oh my God, what was it? I was looking up the other day for multiple man. I just wanted like one more multiple man. Holy friggin' shit. He's like $80 a piece. I was like, why is this a thing? That shit is stupid. So I was like, yeah, I'll pass. I'll just stick with my one multiple man. Thank you very much. Just straight up ignorant ass prices for multiple man right now. Anyway, but there is the team so far. We're still missing Wolf's Bane. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you can still put Forge with them. So I'll bring in Forge. Why not? Just for aesthetics. For the feel of it. I'll bring him in. I'll move her over. And there's Forge. There we go. Oh, now I'm blocking poor. There we go. There we go. There is almost the full team. We just need Wolf's Bane. And like I said, for X-Force, we need Feral. Hopefully we get those down the line. And Richter for X-Force too. But yeah, there is the X-Force team for the most part. Looks pretty cool. Pretty pleased with this. I would definitely give Strong Guy a heavy, strong 2 thumbs up. Definitely recommend picking him up. If you can pick him up, oops, sorry, bumping the camera. If you can pick him up separately and you don't want the rest of the figures in the wave, go for it. Try to outsource him. I would not aid. I could see this figure down the line garnishing heavy prices because I just know the Marvel Legends community does that shit. They're just heavy on upcharging the shit out of people. But I think this is a really, really good Build-A-Figure, and it hits the nail right on the head, and he fell over because I hit the nail on his head. But I think this is maybe I guess going into doing this review, maybe I didn't have as high hopes as I did for this wave, but I think it's a pretty solid wave, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 figures. But I don't think it's nearly as good as the Apocalypse wave, but it's good. It's definitely a good wave. So there's that, and I'm really pleased that we got Sunspot also. I think he's a bright point. I think these 3, or actually these 4 right here, are bright points. Black Tom Cassidy, I mean, he's a necessity because you're probably going to want him for your Rogues Gallery, but he's kind of blah. And then we've got, like I said, to round the rest of this out and to bring this to a close, because this has been quite the long review. We've got the 2 Deadpools, and, you know, at least it is X-Men themed. I will say that. This is not X-Men themed. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but I can give it props for being a unique sculpt. That's about it. I don't really have any attachment to that look for him. To me, it's just like the 90s look for me, and I've regurgitated that numerous times. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for this wave. I'd say overall, it's a solid wave. If you were to take these 2 out and put it in a Wolf's Bane, or maybe just leave him and take him out and put a Wolf's Bane, then I think this this would be way higher up on my list, to be honest with you. But overall, we've got a lot of characters that we needed in this wave. Even though we didn't need the 2 Deadpools, we still got 4 characters that you needed, that people have been clamoring for, and especially with Maverick for me and Strong Guy, those are 2 I really, really wanted, and then Sunspot as well. So overall, the whole wave, I got to give a 2 thumbs up. Like I said, if you can pass on these 2 and just get the Build-A-Figure pieces, go for it. I think the rest are worth a purchase, even though he's kind of boring. But solid wave. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, let me know about the wave. And then I'm going to wrap this up. Plus, there's a screaming child right above me. Wow, Action Figure Expert says, wow, 4 months ago, Multiple Man was going for retail. I guess because of the Strong Guy, he came out, people want more for him. Yeah, probably. That and people, I'm assuming people have army built him, and they know that the people that are selling him know that people are trying to army build him, and now they're just jacking the prices through the roof, which I think is just stupid because you're not going to sell. I mean, to me, figures like that, selling figures like that, you're not going to sell them doing that. So I just, it's definitely, yeah, like I said, Jason, it's definitely a solid wave. The Build-A-Figure sells the wave, and but it's not one of those cases where only the Build-A-Figure sells the wave, because there's other waves that are like that in the past, and I'm just like, well, I only want the Build-A-Figure. I don't want any of these other characters. But I'm trying to kill this stupid bug. Sorry for the clap. I gave you guys the clap. But I think as far as the waves go for the whole year, I think this is definitely up there. I don't know if anything else is going to be released before the end of the year. Maybe, but who knows? All right, Action Figure Expert. Okay. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I will do a quick shout out to everybody, and then I will say goodbye for the night. So Gaz, thanks for popping in. Jason, thanks for popping by. You guys are awesome. Action Figure Expert, thanks for popping in. Eric Layton, thanks for popping in, buddy. Hopefully you get your figures sooner before later. Terry, as always, buddy, thank you for popping in. Thanks for moderating for me. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think that's it. So for those of you watching this on playback, the reason why it's so long is because I did the live review. So if you want to skip some parts, maybe I'll in future videos, maybe not for this one, but in future videos, I'll try to break it up via minute-wise, so you can fast forward to certain parts or whatever. But do I have an IMS, an Instagram page? It's more personal Instagram page. I don't really post figures on Instagram. In the future, I might be doing something different with a different Instagram page, but that's kind of just things in the works I don't want to bring up just yet. But no, if you're just asking me if I have one based on my YouTube channel, I don't. I only have my Facebook page, and but if you want to join up, you want to hang out with and shoot the shit, you can join the Strident Facebook page. That's pretty much mine and Strident's page. It's kind of our community. So if you want to go ahead and join up on that, you can. The link is always in the description of of all my videos. So if it's not in this video, it'll be in a previous video. You can go back and check a previous video and check that out. I will also link that in this video, but it won't be in live, obviously. But actually, I think it will be in live. I think I automatically put it in there. So You can click on that link and join up if you want to, and it's a pretty chill community. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the wave. Solid wave overall. Pretty pleased overall. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, as always. And thank you for everybody who joined me live. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.